Brothers and sisters, let's get busy, okay? The bottom line is we all, you, me, everyone, we need to stay our black butts, white butts, brown butts, Chinese butts, red butts, all of our butts, so to speak, out of hell. That's the only reason why Jesus came. He came so that you don't have to, so that I don't have to go to hell. And that's it. That's it. That's the only reason why he came. He didn't come to get all of these subscribers or friends and this and that. He came as the perfect sacrifice so that he took the punishment so that you don't have to go to hell. He's trying to get us out of hell. See, when we make it really complicated, we deviate from the truth. And the truth is, we all, as children of God, our main objective in this life is to make sure we don't go to hell. That's it. That should be our purpose, huh? That should want to, propel us to, live and see another day and appreciate God's mercy in each and every day. Let me get started. I'm going to get to preaching. First reason why we need to stay saved, remain saved, and get saved is because there is a separation from God if you go to hell. And that separation, listen, years ago, I'm going to stay on course with this, but it just comes. The Holy Spirit is allowing me to make this simplistic for you. Years ago, I took my kids to Six Flags, right? And my youngest daughter, I have two daughters. My youngest daughter at the time wanted to get on this water slide, right? So I was right behind her, okay? And I said, okay. So she went down a water slide. I went down a water slide right in back of us. There was kids in front of me and there was kids in back of me. She decided she wanted to go again. So I said, okay, you can go again. But this time, for this particular reason, I didn't want to go. But I remembered distinctively where this ride ended up. In other words, if I was looking, at her through the water park, I knew the slips and slides of where it was going to end out. This one particular time, though, as she was going through, and I was watching, trust me, I was watching, it took a turn that I didn't know where she was. I'm just talking about the separation factor. Brothers and sisters, you're talking about not even a panic attack. That was like a panic attack times a million. What happened was I thought that she was going to come to this tube and she went through another tube. Thousands of people around. I couldn't find her. I started to hyperventilate. It was really hot that day too. I couldn't find her. My heart. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I understand that fear of separation. And of course, the devil was playing tricks with my head. He was saying somebody raped her, somebody stole her, and then I had the guilt factor. Hear me clearly about what it means to be in hell and have that separation, and all this anxiety pounds you at the same time. I thought about her father. I thought about what was going to happen if I would leave this park without my child. I thought about my guilt. I thought about the guilt of how could I be so stupid and careless and just let her just go when I thought she was just right there in distance. Brothers and sisters, you don't know fear until it knocks on your door, propounding with guilt, propounding with fear, propounding with all these other thoughts that I said, Lord, have your way. I'm sure I prayed so many different times. Long story short, I see her in the distance, but it had to be about a good 5 minutes. That 5 minutes seemed to be 5 years. And that's exactly the same time frame that you're going to be dealing with if you decide that you want to backslide and you want to live for the devil and make it to hell. You see, time is not the time that we experience here. When I was looking for my daughter, time seems to slow down. All of the anxiety seemed to speed up. So with that said, I saw her, thank God. I hugged her, I spanked her butt or whatever. And I said, what happened and all of this? And I mean, it was too much anxiety going on at the time. I say this to say That was a glimpse for me in terms of what it feels like to be separated from the one you love. If you say you love God, imagine that eternal feeling. Well, that's exactly what it is. Separation from God. Number 2, weeping and gnashing of teeth. Weeping and gnashing of teeth deals with the fear of what you're going to see. I heard somebody say if a person saw a demon just right in their house, they're so perplexed, they're so fearful that they're like frozen in time. That fear comes about them so much, it literally stops you in your tracks. You have to realize that it's not just like seeing a snake or seeing a mouse or seeing something like that, a rat or something. No, when you see a demon, brothers and sisters, it's a different caliber of fear. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. Crying is weeping. Gnashing of teeth meaning that you ever have a dream, and I've had dreams like this before, where all your teeth fall out. I'm not quite sure if you've experienced that, but imagine if you're so fearful, you're literally grinding your teeth till it's nothing left. Number 3, the smell. Oh man, the smell of hell is the reason why you definitely should want to get saved, stay saved. Hear me. The smell. Imagine everybody in the world, right, took the worst poop you've ever imagined, okay? And it's all in one big pile of heap. Okay. And then you put all the garbage in the world, okay, everywhere, every country. And then you pile that on it. And then, okay, you pile burning flesh on top of that. Then you pile, okay, something dead. Okay. If you realize that, trees, in hell, there's nothing that grows. It's the opposite of life. When you think of heaven, you think of things that grow. You think of light. You think of life. There's nothing in hell that grows. Everything is dead. Stinking flesh. And then you pile sulfur on that. And then you take all the animals and their poop and their waste, and you pile that on there. And then you mix that with sulfur. Then you have an idea of the smell in hell. Number 4, the heat factor. It's very hot in hell. I remember in the Word of God, it talks about how the rich man just wanted to, if you could tell Lazarus, if you could just dip your finger, if I could just taste and just get some water on my mouth. There's a very hotness in hell, undescribable heat factor, brothers and sisters. Number 5. You think that everybody in hell is all together. You think that people in hell is chilling. You see Ray, and then you see Aunt Earl or whoever, transvestite or whoever, right? And you see them going through, and you see, no, there's an isolation factor. In other words, depending on the degree of your sentence, you're going to have different chambers and different things of that nature. But it's also a separation from folk, from people. So you don't think it's not a party down there. People play games with hell. They make jokes and they mock. They don't realize that isolation is a factor as well. You don't get to hold hands while you're burning and being tormented. You experience this all alone. I've heard someone say there's like 3 fears that everyone in this world experience: the fear of falling, the fear of being alone, and loud noise. Imagine all that happening simultaneously in your mind and literally. All right, number 6, torment. You are constantly tormented in hell, and that fear is over and over and over, nonstop. Number 7, isolation. I've already said that. Number 8, regret. Wow. When I, temporarily lost my daughter, that regret was tormenting. It was tormenting. And just like in hell, I believe that people are going to literally be thinking about everybody who witnessed to them. thinking about all those sermons, thinking about how God gave them chance upon chance, and thinking about their rebellion all at the same time. They have misery and regret. Number 9, it's eternal. It never stops. It happens over and over and over. In other words, that 5 minutes seem like 5 years. But in eternity, 5 minutes is like 5 decades. Let's go on. There's no water and no food. You ever get hungry to the point where you literally feel like you are dying? Imagine you feeling hungry year after year, day after day, and you get those hunger pains. There's no water as well. You're constantly dehydrated each and every day. Number 11, you no rest. You get no rest. There's no rest for the wicked. I'm going to say it again. There's no rest for the wicked. You are not going to get rest. You ever be tired? You had a long day at work. Then after that, you got kids jumping on your back. Then after that, you got to do dishes and housework. Well, imagine at times a million constantly being tired. No rest for the wicked.